Welcome back NRL tippers for this round one. Hope you all are well. Earlier, the stellar performances from Canberra Raiders, which leads to crushing of the Warriors 30-8. Four-time defending premiers Penrith have shown their class by beating the Sharks 28-22 to open their NRL season in Las Vegas. This weekend's round one, Roosters versus Broncos. Head-to-head clash since 1999. Total of 49 games played between each side. 25 games won by Roosters and 24 games won by Broncos. Previous meeting. 2 games played last year were won by Roosters. From the last year's guide for 5 games played, both teams have 3 losses and 2 wins. Which leads us to the wins overall, Roosters with 56% wins and Broncos with 54% wins. And also based on the key stats, wins at this venue, Roosters have won 64% of the games played while the Broncos with 62%. With Roosters lost a host of experience in the off-season across both the forwards and the backs, headlined by Jared Waerea-Hargreaves and half Luke Keary's move to the Super League. Their depth to start the season has also been severely tested, with long-term injuries to Sam Walker and Brandon Smith, and the 2-game suspension handed to Spencer Leniu for a high shot in the trial against Newcastle. For the Broncos, however, what's old is new again with the signing of Ben Hunt, who has returned to the club keen to make an instant impact. Starting the year in the halves alongside skipper Adam Reynolds, the duo will be the oldest halves pairing in the competition, but showed they are still plenty quick between the ears after combining well to help Brisbane earn back-to-back pre-season challenge titles in their final round win against Bulldogs. Broncos also lost star centre Tony Staggs for at least first month with quad injury. With new looks of halves pairing, I'm tipping the Broncos to win this game. Tigers versus Knights. The moment of truth arrives for West's Tigers as they look to turn all the hype and expectation into a first-up win over Carlin Ponga and the Knights. Superstar playmaker Jarome Luai will be champing at the bit after sitting out the pre-season challenge, and his combination with Wiz Kid Lachlan Galvin holds the key to a West's Tigers revival in 2025 after 3 straight wooden spoons. Head-to-head clash, a total of 38 games played. Tigers won 17 games and Knights with 21. Previous meetings from last year's 2 games, Knights have beat the Tigers first and the second match. From the guide, from last year's season with both teams' previous 5 games, Tigers won 2 games out of 5 while Knights won 3 games out of 5. From the key stats, wins at this venue, Tigers won 39 games out of 96, rating them with 41% winning probability, while Knights with 6 wins out of 13, rating them 46% probability. Knights with good record at Campbelltown, but greater start for Tigers with playmaker Jarome Luai. I'm backing the Tigers to win this game. Dolphins versus Rabbitohs. This match has been thrown into carnage with Cyclone Alfred due to hit Queensland, with this match being moved to Sydney and a number of Dolphins players staying behind to be with their families. This game has become the most difficult game of the round to assess, with Cyclone Alfred forcing its relocation. The game has moved from Suncorp to CommBank with a number of Dolphins set to remain in Queensland with their families. As a result, the betting on this game has moved from the Dolphins favoured by 5.5 points to the Rabbitohs now being the elect by 1.5 points. From previous meetings, both teams have won each games. I'm still going to tip the Dolphins despite the hit of the nature. Dragons versus Bulldogs. The Dragons have shortened significantly in this one, and it is easy to understand why, with the Redvi a huge runner in this. The Dragons 2 weeks ago were 7.5 point at home underdogs, but are into 4.5 points with some books now at 3.5. Canterbury have certainly had the best of St. George Illawarra of late, winning the last 3 and covering 6 of the last 8, but there are angles everywhere here for the Dragons. Home underdogs of 4 or more in the opening 4 rounds of the season cover at 66%. Round 1 underdogs of 4 or more cover at 64%. Favourites have covered at just 29% the last 3 seasons. The angles around the Dragons here are good too. St George Illawarra are 10-6 against the spread at Kogarah, while the Saints cover at 57% in NSW. With the Bulldogs missing key players Jacob Kiraz and Josh Curran, the Dragons can be bet with confidence both at the plus and head-to-head. Eagles versus Cowboys. Hopes are high for Manly heading into 2025, and they will be very keen to get their season off on a winning note against a North Queensland team facing a difficult year. Manly have a great recent record against North Queensland with 5 wins in the last 7 and 16 covers in the 24 meetings since 2008. The Sea Eagles are 19-12 ATS at Brookvale and have covered 11 of 16 at the venue. At night, they have covered 5 of 7 at Brookvale, laying at least a try. The better play though, with wet conditions forecast, is hitting the under. Readers will be sick of reading the numbers around round 1 unders, but they absolutely drive the bet home. The under hits at just under 80% in round 1 games the last 3 years and just under 63% the last decade. Night round 1 games go under at 63%. When an interstate team plays in the opening 4 rounds of the year, the under hits at nearly 71. The under is 8-3 when the Cowboys are an interstate underdog of 4 or more points. With rains expected to hit, the under is a highly confident play. Storms versus Eels. Round 1 wraps up with a major mismatch according to betting, with the Storm 7.5-point favourites over an Eels team since Mitchell Moses. The gap between Melbourne and Parramatta is large, but we are in almost unprecedented territory with a line of 17.5 points and growing. This is only the 3rd round 1 game since 2008 to have a line of 16 or larger. On both prior occasions, the underdog not only covered but won both games off the stick. While the Eels are unlikely to make it 3 on the trot, for huge underdogs, this is a monster line to cover. Melbourne are near unstoppable in round 1, having not lost in 2 decades, but they rarely put teams to the sword. The Storm have just one win bigger than 10 points in round 1 since 2013, with their biggest win being 18 points. The Eels have covered 3 of their lat 4, getting 6.5 or more. This game is in the hands of the Storm, but they very much prioritise defence rather than attack early in the season. Tipping Storm to win this game. Thank you for watching. Do comment your tips on the comment box below.